Yes. Nailed it. Welcome to the fifth edition of the Adventure Society Report on September 25th, 2014. I'm Sir Proper, Twitch.tv streamer and quasi-internet celebrity. One invention I think is necessary is real virtual reality.
Cool. Is that it? That's what you're going to say about it?
Well, I mean, come on, real virtual reality. It's the oxymoron. I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, I thought you meant as in it's real now, as in virtual reality is a real thing.
Yeah, no, that's the joke, but it's virtual reality. Like,
Okay.
I want real virtual, like Full Dive from Sword Art Online or something, like, in the
Oh, right.
thing.
I get you. Yeah, where you can't tell the difference.
Right,
Right.
exactly. Real virtual reality, but the joke is it's real virtual.
Yes, I get it now.
Uh, ha ha ha.
Sorry, I was slow on the uptake.
I know. I was
Uh,
waiting. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it, but it was like one of those delayed grenades. Like five,
I
four.
had to think about it too hard.
I hurt your brains.
You
Okay.
did. My
Okay.
brain's
Cool.
already hurt.
All you.
All right. So who am I? Cold Queen. That's me. I'm a mod in Sir Proper's channel on Twitch. Woohoo! And one invention that needs to be is a device which can not only read my thoughts, but actually write my novel out for me so I don't have to sit and physically do it. I can just think it because I actually think about my novel all the time and imagine the dialogue and the text and stuff. And it would be great if there was a device that could just do that. So at the times when I'm usually at my most creative, which are times when I can't sit down and write, then I
Uh,
would lose all that.
so
It'd be
you're
so
you're
awesome.
you're you're needing a dictaphone thingy for your mind.
Yes, I even wrote a short story that had one in it. It was
You
so
should you
cool.
should, you should write a novel about that. Inspire someone to make it.
I will. Here we go.
As soon as you find time to sit down and write that story.
Yeah. Copyright. Yeah.
I copyright that now.
I copyright it now. I call it. It's live on the internet. You're all my witnesses.
So we're live on Google Plus at Sir Proper and twitch.tv Sir Proper. And the show will be posted on youtube.com Sir Proper Gent. Today we're talking about COD. Fish. Yes. No, wait, sorry. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Sorry, not the fish. And then we're going to be discussing Neversoft and Minecraft, which Cola assures me that there is some connection between all these points.
There is. Totally. However
So,
tenuous they might be, they're
how,
there.
however stretched thin. So Call of Duty. So, I've seen the trailers. There was a big hullabaloo, when there's like the 0 hour pre-order access pack thing, right
Mm.
around the same time Destiny's getting ready to go live. All this stuff is hitting the ground. They're competing for obviously um, perspective space, as it were, because they're both first person.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I just watched one of the newer trailers, and there is a four-person co-op mode. Well, I'll
Wow.
be, yeah, they're doing the co-op thing. But I was actually watching the gameplay footage of this co-op, as it were, and to be honest, it really didn't look that much different than its like multiplayer. And I gotta say,
Okay.
like as much as there's like cool features to the game, like the multi-directional boosting and stuff, so that you can like boost laterally, horizontally, vertically. That's cool and all, but if everyone looks like tiny little figures on the map, it doesn't feel like very next gen. I was kind of like, here's this amazing footage of like these character models and stuff, and everything
Yep.
they were shooting at looked like something out of, I'd almost say, like Counter Strike.
Okay.
I was a little disappointed by that, and I didn't know what to think.
Mhm.
like we've talked about game mechanics before, and I'm interested in what it has to offer because there is definitely a lot of different things that it's trying to do all over the place. Like there's these grappling hooks, these spike ball launcher thing that you like shoot out as a perk or power up something. All sorts of crazy weaponry, practically sci-fi in every way. Boosting mech suits, just short of a Titanfall ripoff, except it's more exosuit, not full on
Yeah,
Titan.
I saw that. Yeah.
But I don't know like what it's like the game that Call of Duty fans have been wanting. So are they only making a game for Call of Duty fans? Like,
Well, I don't know because so I read an article from Games TM magazine, which is a physical magazine, although you can go to their website. Um, and it was quite a big splash about advanced warfare, and it was, I mean, one of the things that they kind of said in the article was that um, Call of Duty, I don't know, had sort of been waning a bit, and
that's true.
this is an attempt to kind of revitalize it and extend a hand to new audiences because every game eventually needs to bust out of its core fans and get some new audiences if I mean a franchise if they want to keep going.
Yeah.
So there were some changes to game mechanics. There was this addition of the co-op. There's supposedly a much more developed story line than in previous games. So just based on that, I would say, well, no, it sounds like they're trying to reach out to people who haven't played COD before.
But the problem is like they say all that, but watching from a trailer, what I'm
Mm,
seeing is like Call of Duty. It's really frenetic. It feels very chaotic, which unfortunately, yeah, you could argue one way or another that it's kind of like, oh, this is war, this is the very chaos. But the problem is it's so frenetic at the point, and like there's so little emphasis put on like individual life value that it's just like I don't know that it's going to necessarily do anything but just create a faster paced action model. Pushing just a Call of Duty with new bells and whistles. Because I mean, the engagement interface, like when I was looking at it, other than the mobility and the sci-fi futuristic stuff, the visuals primarily just reminded me of Call of Duty. Tiny
right.
dude across the map that you're shooting at, and it's all very Twitch-based shooter. And I don't know that's necessarily going to bring in a new audience. The only thing I think that's really going to do is bring back some Call of Duty people that were leaving
Right.
more than anything. I don't know. I didn't. As much as I'm seeing new, I'm seeing like shiny bells and whistles, gizmos, doodads, and stuff, and not enough like I hate to put it to comparison to the Man of the Hour, which surprisingly is getting kind of train wrecked in reviews, especially by professional critics. But Destiny, like
Yeah.
I get in the PvP and yeah, it's fast paced. Yeah, it's very Twitch based. I mean, just like any, I'd say PvP. Um, but like I can see, the opposing Guardian coming. I can see the character model. It's not like I don't know if it's just the way they do the depth of field or something. It's just I don't know,
Hmm.
like all the characters look really small. And I don't think that really adds to space. I just think it adds to a very cluttered environment. And
So you think it's that they're too small or it's too far away?
maybe the way they scale the perspective or something. I find it very hectic feeling.
Hmm.
And I was
But
watching
not
some of
enough.
the co-op play, and we had discussed, I think even just the very last one, that this was the first Call of Duty that kind of was like, this looks really interesting. I'm wanting to play this, but I don't know. I was watching the co-op trailer because that was, oh, co-op, that's my bag, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like I don't know if you've seen that trailer where it shows the co-op.
No,
I'm gonna
I've
put up
not.
a link to it if I can
I was
find it
gonna say
again.
I could probably look at it right now, just quickly.
Where is it? I'll have to find it again because apparently I was stupid and closed it.
There's one on Eurogamer.
The 4-player. I have it on GameSpot.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna just basically throw this link up. If anyone is watching, which I know at least a few people were, you guys tell me what you think. Take a look at that real quick. I don't know where the chat is. Why isn't it? There it is, chat.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
while
know.
we're watching that, what about the whole use of Kevin Spacey as a character?
Oh, that's actually a strong point, I think, in the game. I don't know if it's going to be all angry Kevin Spacey because I think that might get a little monotonous, but it
Mm.
definitely seems like a very strong, grounded Kevin Spacey performance, and he's a pretty solid actor. From what I've seen so far, he's definitely playing the part. I'm kind of I'm almost interested, like if I can pick it up cheap or whatnot, because I don't know that I want to pre-order it. I might do the actual pre-order just to get the free Destiny shader because I like my accessories and my I gotta
The
style up my garden.
shader.
I gotta
Everybody
style
loves a shader.
exactly. You gotta color and accessorize and color coordinate, and shaders make it simple. Okay, it's just
It's
a thing.
just funny because every streamer that I watch on Twitch who's doing Destiny, that's like the first thing. I got a new shader. I got a new
Oh,
shader.
oh man, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I just got the God of War shader
Mm.
today. It's like blood red. It's pretty awesome. Although a mod in my channel also, but he was not yet guested because he is not usually awake at this point in time.
Mm.
But Quinnell, one of my mods, he got the Thunder Devil shader, and it's the shader I hope to have someday. It's very very attractive.
It's the shader you aspire to.
Oh, it's like gunmetal gray and metallic, and it's just
Mm.
it's just cool. But
I mean, it's just interesting because, like, obviously, some of the things in the article and other things I've read online about advanced warfare, the Kevin Spacey thing, bringing in sort of a well-known actor to play a pivotal character, to perhaps cynically, perhaps to attract people to the game. But it's obviously not a new thing. I mean, we had Martin Sheen in Mass Effect. We've had uh, what's his name? Captain Picard in
we've had
Oblivion.
we've had
We've
some
had
notable voice actors. I mean, like
yeah,
the guy Patrick Stewart,
Patrick
uh,
Stewart. That's right.
Liam Neeson actually does quite a few voices
Yeah,
in quite a few games. There's actually in fact, Destiny has a pretty extensive cast of voice actors. Like Nathan Fillion is the Hunter Mentor, and the guy from Dead Orbit. I can't place what he's in, but I know that voice.
yeah.
Um,
What's
and
her name from Firefly is also in it.
yeah, the
Zoe.
girl who plays Zoe. There's a
And also,
pretty extensive cast in
yeah,
there.
yeah. There's another guy. trying to remember what TV show he's from. I think he plays the FBI agent in Fringe, like the
Mm.
head FBI agent. He's been in other TV shows. I'm terrible with actors' names unless they're like
My problem is
massive.
I know voices, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I hear that voice, and I'm like, I
you
know
associate with a character.
I've seen him in that one thing, and I figure out what thing I saw him in. I can look it up.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Like people are saying, well, I mean, one of the things is okay, Kevin Spacey, and are they trying to use that as a PR thing? And two, there was this whole thing about how they used all this new, well, not new, but they got him to come in and they filmed, his entire face and body so that it would have a more accurate, realistic
Yeah,
feel.
I was definitely catching that feel. Like it definitely looks and feels like Kevin Spacey, which I think is a
Yeah,
drastic improvement to some of the mocap that they've done before.
yeah. No. I mean, there's certain aspects of it that look cool. I'm just watching that trailer. It's hard for me to tell. I mean, I don't really play um, fast-paced shooter kind of games with other
Yeah.
people in them, so to me it just looked quite frenetic. But I mean, to someone else
Yeah.
who's used to that genre of game, it may not. I don't know.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can do something real quick, like here. If I can, hold on. Just you keep talking. I'm trying to do something. If I can do it.
Um, I mean, again, like I said before, this is not my type of game. I mean, not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm all happy for people who enjoy the FPS genre, the multiplayer genre. Um, and it's good to see them trying to at least incorporate some new ideas or different ideas into things they might have been doing in the past. So, um, adding the co-op. And I read somewhere something about the leveling system and your weapons. I think it had like it had like a number attached to it. Like the last one was 12 or 13, and this one is 14. I forget what it's called. I'd have to look it up. Um, but it allows you. Oh, I forget what it was. Sorry, I totally lost it now. Um, right. But what I can touch on a little bit is because I'm out of my depth now, talking about Advanced Warfare by myself, is the fact that in Ghosts,
Mm-hmm.
um, the studio Neversoft, who we're going to talk about
Yes.
next, was involved in that somewhat, and now they're closed. A couple of their people have been kind of absorbed uh, into working on more Call of Duty stuff.
Oh,
As they
are they part of Sledgehammer now, or
was it Sledgehammer? No, it
because
was
Sledgehammer is who's developing this newest Call of Duty?
yeah, but there's more than one studio involved.
Hmm.
So I mean, Neversoft's actually been involved in quite a few things with other that are developed by one company, but involve
Hmm.
different studios. Da-da-da.
Well, I know of a certain FPS. He's pretty good at the FPS game genre type, and I'm trying to get Moen in here to weigh in on his take on Call of Duty since.
Oh yeah, that.
But he has yet to respond to the fact that I sent him a link invite.
Moen,
I mean, he's right
Moen,
there. Like
I
I
know.
can see him there. He's responding.
Yeah, Moen.
Moen.
Moen. People
Yeah,
listen to
because
his podcast, they're gonna be like, "What the hell? These people."
he's in. Okay, we're referring to someone who is active in Twitch and is on right
Yeah,
now, and he is being slow to respond.
yeah.
That's all we're saying. Okay, so we'll go back around and touch that if he actually does
Okay.
jump in. But Neversoft, you were talking about Neversoft.
Right. So Neversoft, for anybody who hasn't heard of them, they they're probably most famous for their work on a lot of the Tony Hawk games.
I just gotta
And
say, Tony Hawk games were like they were fun for like 15 minutes for me, and then I was done.
hmm,
Like,
I never played them, so I mean I know of them and I've seen videos of them.
see,
But
like
yeah.
I played them, but after a while, it just felt like a lot of the same. So maybe that stems into the whole Call of Duty Warfare thing.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, and
but
their other franchise that they picked up and worked a lot on was the Guitar Hero games.
well,
So not every single one of them, but quite a few of them.
let's put this out there. Guitar Hero is more of the same.
See, now I have a few Guitar Hero games. In fact, I think I have almost all the Neversoft ones and none of the other ones. Um, and yeah, I mean, what can you do with a game like this? It's you play songs, you try to master the the button pushing on the controller, which is shaped like a guitar. And that's pretty much it. And you do get better as time goes on. And for me, it was always more like it's an entertainment game. You know, me and
It
my
is.
husband we play it together. We get to listen to all the great songs that we love. But there are parts of it which are just too hard. I can't do them. Um, but you know, they're fun games, and they're games that are really meant to be played with other people.
Yeah,
So if
yeah. Mm.
you've got to get a couple of guitars, and you've got to have a mic, and you know, I'm not saying you have to get the whole like drum kit and everything, but it does
Well,
work better when you have a few people to do it. It's just
that
like
brings up
singing songs.
Cola. That brings up an interesting topic. Peripherals in games. They tried to have like a skateboard peripheral, which like totally flopped. Even the
Oh, did that?
Kinect, yeah, it was
I didn't know that.
terrible. Um, I mean, they've tried to do the PlayStation Eye. The Kinect, kind of. Wii's about the only one that really has peripherals, but it's like that was built in as a core mechanic of the system to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like Guitar Hero and Rock Band are some of the few notable exceptions where they've gotten people to buy peripherals, but most things it's kind of a hurdle. And even still, like I've never bought a Rock Band or a Guitar Hero because I'm like, I can't afford no stinking guitar controller. I mean, what does that do to, the kind of, I guess, impact demographic? People that are
Hmm.
already willing to invest in the peripheral? I mean,
Well, I mean, it depends. Like when Guitar Hero first came out, and then Rock Band later. I mean, they were expensive to purchase when they
mhm.
came out, particularly if you wanted to buy the whole band, as it were. And I never actually played them for years until much later when we could get used ones at the local CEX, which is a used game shop
Mm.
here in England. And I mean, I never would have spent like £150 on some, you know, guitar shaped controllers and stuff. It just, I mean, that just, to me, it seems ridiculous. I know
Yeah.
people who have Rock Band instead and had like the full Rock Band kit, and I can't imagine what they spent on it.
It's
But
like, I think like a full kit, like a box kit was like $180 if you got the whole thing together. But that
Yeah.
only came with I think one guitar, the drum kit, and like a microphone or something.
Yeah.
I don't even think that it came with a second guitar.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
sure.
there's additional purchases in the game. So there's new songs to buy and then other things to buy. And then once you're done with that particular iteration, there's a new version that comes out with different songs. So I
Oh
mean,
God.
I can
Yeah.
imagine if you were really into it, you invested a lot of money in it. And it would have to be something that you're passionate about. So most of my friends who are musicians are the people who had like the full kit in all the
Mm.
games because they're already that passionate about music.
But
Um,
do you think like okay, so you mentioned that Neversoft worked on some of the Guitar Hero. Like, do you think at some point people just decided to stop putting money into the machine? I mean, is that
well,
one thing that contributed to
it's
their financial woes?
interesting. I think it's interesting. There was another article in the same magazine, by the way, about Neversoft and its demise, as it were. And how there was actually a lot of criticism, I think, of some of their Guitar Hero titles and how similar they were, even though it was
Hmm.
different music, but just that there wasn't enough to do in
They weren't
them,
like another
or
game.
yeah. And I don't know, I guess Rock Band did a lot better over time and had a lot more fans. um,
Well, because it basically
and
provided everything that Guitar Hero did and more.
Yeah, so I mean, over time, Guitar Hero kind of fell from favor, and Neversoft, um, concentrated on the Tony Hawk games, and then doing a bit of work with Call of Duty. And in fact, now that they're closed, some of the people have been taken into its Infinity Ward,
Hmm.
who are working on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Uh, so So they've been absorbed into this other studio.
They've been
And I just,
omnomdommed into.
from what I read about the history of Neversoft, because Neversoft made some other games I didn't even realize was them. One of them was a game called Gun, which people might have heard of, is kind of the proto Red Dead Redemption.
Oh
It was
yeah, yeah. I did play that.
Yeah, my husband played it and he really, really enjoyed it. And in fact, when Red Dead, this game's already been out, it was called Gun. So, I mean, that was quite a good game, but it kind of never went anywhere. It,
Yeah.
it came out. I don't think it had a lot of,
They didn't
didn't
even
have
have
a
much
massive,
story, if I remember. I mean, like
no.
it was pretty
It
much
had some
about
story, but
it.
yeah.
Well, as much as you can call a hokey, like one page, one act
It
play kind of
was,
thing.
it was very of its type. A, it was like a penny western, you know,
Penny, yes,
in a
yes, indeed.
game.
Penny. Not even a nickel western. This stuff is penny
A
western.
penny western. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of penny dreadfuls, which are a British thing.
No, no, trust
Uh,
me. It's I think you just coined a very new and apt phrase.
yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah, like
but
I
and
don't
they
know, like
worked on those.
maybe it
Sorry,
was
go ahead.
just that the I don't know. It seems like they worked on a lot of stuff that wasn't really heavy on the story. Maybe that's indicative of what the market is wanting, or at least what the at least the evolving market. Because I know that there's definitely a heavy leaning on the indie and the story crafting. I mean, even games as literature is gaining more and more headway regarding the medium. So maybe these games that were just kind of a pure mechanic are getting kind of the wayside. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Well, and there's also, if you look at their history, almost all the games they worked on, all the franchises, they were not things they invented or developed. They were kind of given by other companies to work on, or they worked on parts of. So, I think, I mean, I don't know. I imagine that that's actually, it's very hard to survive like that in the game industry. Um, a lot of companies now, they're much bigger, they have their own studios, and what we're seeing, and I think what this shows is the end of Neversoft, it shows is companies are taking things more in-house. They're not farming out um, all the different bits of the game anymore to smaller studios. They're trying to bring everything together in one cohesive place. So all the
Hmm.
story development, all the game mechanics, all the art, everything is done in that company instead of lots of people having their fingers in the pie. And I just wonder if that's contributed to it. They just weren't able to get the work.
Hmm. Yeah, I I can kind of see that as a kind of a strong contention, especially since
Mm.
um I don't know, some of their games seemed kind of piecemeal to begin with. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just felt like when I was reading the history in this article, it kind of felt like they've always really struggled to cement themselves in the gaming industry as a big player, even though they've worked on some big games, or at least some long-running franchises.
you know who's really taken over? Activision.
Mhm.
Activision has taken
Yeah,
over.
seriously, it's weird because I remember them from my childhood as, as like a big player in games, and then
Back when they were making games and not just publishing them.
yeah, and then it was like they became this, I don't know, shadowy thing that maybe existed still didn't exist, and now they're like back with a vengeance.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, they've eaten up Blizzard,
Hmm.
the mighty Blizzard. How the mighty Blizzard has fallen.
Well, and actually, when you're talking about uh, being absorbed, that leads directly into our our last topic um, about Minecraft. But I see Moens has joined us.
Oh,
Yes.
Moen has. Moen, are you there?
Yeah.
Moen.
Moen.
Hey.
Okay, so
Hey,
Moen,
Moen.
what I wanted to get your thoughts on. Have you had a chance to see some of the gameplay footage from Call of Duty?
Yes.
Anyone? Okay, now I stopped playing. I will admit I stopped playing at Modern Warfare 2. I was Dunsville at that point. I was like, okay, I've had enough of the same. Doesn't it? Does it seem to you to be like smacking of really similar? Like as
Well,
far as like character perspective, like it didn't really feel all that fresh, other than necessarily some change in mechanics and how you move within the space.
yeah, I felt like every new game that came out of Call of Duty was just an update or something like that. But Call of Duty Ghost just disappointed me. Really, just disappointed.
So, what is your thoughts on Advanced Warfare? Do you think it's
Well,
going to bring in a new audience, or do you think it's just basically going to help it hold on to what audience that it has?
I don't know. When they showed trailers of Call of Duty Ghost, I was like, man, this looks really cool. I gotta get this. And my friends got it and stuff, and I played it. I was like, are you kidding me? So
So,
right now, I'll just wait till it comes out and see what happens next.
so you're kind of in the boat of it looks cool, but I've seen the whole looks
I've
cool
been duped
hype
before.
before. Yeah, I've been duped before.
See,
It's
that's
like
the thing.
Yeah,
A trailer can make anything look good, can it? I mean, movie
yeah.
trailers do it to you all the time. Game trailers are notorious for it.
Have you
and
seen
do
the
you Moen, do you think the four player thing? Because like this is the first time that I've seen that there was four player just co op. Do you think that's kind of a thumbs up or a thumb at thumbing their nose at Destiny and its three-man fire team, like just the one more. Because I've heard a lot of complaints about the three and the. Why can't you just give us one more? Do you think that
Well,
changed their decision to have a four-man squad, or is there something that they may have already decided that they were going to do four in the first place?
well, I definitely feel it's gonna make the game different, and I know in Halo you could actually play up to 4 players in single player, and if it did the same thing, it would kind of take the same game aspect, I think, and with the three different classes, it's more acceptable to me. But still,
Mm,
they could make some missions up to 6 players, because there's two subclasses for every class.
yeah. No, I definitely think like the raid is being six. It seems kind of a one-off that there's a group of six. I'd almost like to see like an expanded patrol. Like where it's harder stuff that's going on and not just the typical run of mill. And that's something where I'd like to see like six characters involved. But
True.
I don't know with this whole Call of Duty thing, the four-person team. You're a little bit more familiar with Call of Duty. Has the four-person team been a thing, or is this something that they just kind of pulled out of their, ass with a specific number?
Is it in single player or what?
Yeah, like in single player,
Oh,
is there any co-op, or is it just truly single player in Call of Duty?
well, single player with co-op would be really awesome to share the experience of the story with the newest Call of Duty, with your friends.
Right.
Just like in Destiny, it would be kind of boring if you did all the story all alone.
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot that they're trying to push with this whole new Call of Duty. And I think I'm with you. There's a lot yet to be seen. I'm almost waiting to see when it starts streaming and see what I think of, what they're actually, putting out on the table versus what they've been trying to sell us in the big shows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? E3 and all
Well,
that.
here's a question: if Destiny was not a thing, um, do you think you'd even be concerned with it? Would you be more interested in Advanced Warfare?
Well, I think both Moen and I probably have a valid answer. I'll give my short answer real quick. I probably I'd probably have the whole ear on it and kind of a maybe, but I think for the most part, if Destiny wasn't a thing, I would still just be back in the indie PC scene, saving my bucks for games that weren't big ticket, big vendor, and potentially just a giant flop. Because to me,
Hmm.
Call of Duty it's like I know this is not something that a lot of people will agree with, but like all the basketball, football games, they're just so samey, and to me, it's like, okay, I'm done. I don't see why I'm gonna invest every time a new one comes out. This at most could be a yearly DLC. You know,
Yeah.
unless they dramatically change the engine, don't send me a new game. Don't produce one. It's a waste of time and money.
Hmm.
Um,
So, Thunder just
but
made
for
an
me, probably
interesting comment.
probably
Sorry.
probably for me, probably wouldn't still be that big of a thing on my radar. So
Well, I was
you were
just
saying?
saying,
Go ahead.
Thunder in the chat just said the biggest selling point of Destiny is the society.
Yeah,
It's the
community.
co-op. Yeah. Um, so he means the social interactions, and obviously that you can play a lot of the story co-op, or you can do multiplayer, or you can do all the extra missions co-op. Um, so the purpose of Destiny is really that community feeling and the interactions,
Right.
whereas it seems like Call of Duty is trying to do two things. It's trying to be an FPS, but also add this layer of co-op multiplayer,
It's
which
I
may
would
or
even
may
go so
not work.
far. I don't almost go so far as to say it's more like first-person achievement, you know,
Mm.
shooter. Like because like the multiplayer, the PvP is always centered around personal achievement more than anything else. This co-op is
Mm.
almost like the most absurd thing I've ever heard out of a Call of Duty. Like I loved the like when World Call of Duty World at War came out. They had the Nazi zombie mode, and like that was
Mm.
it for co-op experience. Really, if you wanted to do something that wasn't um, just directly competitive. Um, so I mean, whereas just yesterday I got done doing uh, the Black Garden mission for those that play Destiny. It's basically the final mission. We played it on the level 28 heroic settings, and I have
Mm.
to say that was one of the most epic gaming moments that I've experienced. I'd say the last 5 years or so. I mean the score is at a fever pitch. We're all under heavy fire. We're literally hanging on by the skin of our teeth, dodging all sorts of incoming fire, trying to get our teammates back on our feet, and it's just this overwhelming surge of tension and adrenaline and excitement. And by the time you're done, when you're like, last target's down, it's just like, oh, F yeah, man, that was amazing. And it really does, like, I know some people played through the story on their own, and I just, that experience would not have been as grand as it was if it hadn't been for the co-op experience. And
Mm.
I don't think Call of Duty can do that with some slapped on kind of co-op thing. It's like and it's like almost like a horde mode thing where there's waves of enemies that come at you. It's not like you're engaging in the story together. I don't know that necessarily they're going to compete in the same markets. And I don't know that Call of Duty is going to do much to put a dent into the newly indoctrinated horde of Destiny players.
Mm. Well, that's what I think. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to get at with what Thunder was saying. That now that you've had Destiny, it's going to be a lot harder to go back to games like Call of Duty. They're going to have to do. They're going to have to work a lot harder to get certain people back to playing them or interested in playing them.
Mm, yeah. Well,
True.
speaking of Destiny and Bungie, who was originally kind of contracted over by a certain company called Microsoft. Microsoft made an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft made an
2.5 billion.
2.5 billion, and if we're talking about the indoctrinated masses, Minecraft seems to be a particular brand of Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah.
Considering it's regularly competing for like some of the top streamed games, and like I've
On the
dropped in,
amount. Sorry.
I've dropped in to like check out a stream or two, and I'm just like, I want to punch myself in the face. Like watching someone like harvest 100 trees and then like do something. It's like, oh man, check this out. I have my tree farming facility now, and it's this one thing where it grows a tree really fast, and they grow the tree and then they harvest it, and they grow the tree and then harvest it. I'm like, oh god, how can you watch this? It's like watching paint dry.
Actually, watching the multiplayer can be a bit more interesting,
Well, I've seen
particularly
some
because
stuff.
Minecraft is known for attracting younger players
Young.
and
Oh boy.
more crazy players of all ages. So watching, it comes to this whole thing like, is there someone who's in charge and organizing everyone, or is it just a free for all, which can be quite interesting. I don't watch a lot of Minecraft, by the way. I
I've watched
watched a
about
couple
10
of
minutes.
streamers.
10,
Yeah, I've watched a couple of streamers who don't normally stream it, but I like their streams, and then they decide to stream it a little bit, and that's okay. But I don't. I've played Minecraft, but I'm not obsessed with Minecraft.
Cola, tell us about your first-hand experiences with Minecraft.
My first experience with Minecraft.
Your first-hand experience with Minecraft.
My first. Yeah, it was boring. You mined a lot of shit, and I mean, there is this kind of achievement drive thing that goes on where you're like, okay, I need this to make this, and it is puzzle solving because once you start doing it, you have to get different resources to craft different things, and you have to make yourself a shelter, and then you know I see the appeal of it. I mean, it's a very open world game, and there's a lot of add-ons that you can get for it. And I do understand why people like it. It's a game, though, you have to invest so much time and energy in that I've never really been able to get to that level. I never really wanted to. There's lots of other games that I'd rather invest my time and energy in that I find more rewarding.
Speaking of
But there is this
investment,
appeal. Sorry, there's this appeal about the creating aspect of it. That I
mhm,
create this. This is unique to me. It's not like anybody else's,
yeah.
which I think is the thing that keeps it going for so long.
Okay, so Thunder brings up in the Twitch channel here that the I'm just gonna go ahead and read this. Isn't it the same with Destiny? Every other stream is about Destiny and going there, hacking something, killing a few waves of enemies, and going to the next location to do the same thing. Um, I can agree that it has the potential to be very repetitive, and if I was always just playing by myself, I definitely could see it being a lot more repetitive. And then I guess you're dealing with the argument of the emergent story. Basically, the story becomes more when there's essentially more storytellers.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I can admit that mentioning Node Gaming, on Node Gaming they've done some Minecraft LAN parties where they're all trying to do something. They've set their own rules and guidelines, and they're trying to do something, and that is entertaining to me. But when it gets down to like one person and you're watching them farm resources by themselves, and it's basically just that thing,
Yeah.
I I don't see that as the same value.
No. I find that a bit boring to watch. There's also this thing I noticed from watching a couple of streamers, that when you stream Minecraft, you attract a different kind of viewer.
Oh
Um,
geez.
I was
Oh.
watching one guy who doesn't normally stream Minecraft, and he was multiplaying with a couple of his regular viewers, and they were definitely working together, organized, doing their thing. But he wasn't someone who was like who'd played he'd played Minecraft before, but he wasn't like someone who played it religiously, and so he would get stuck or wonder how to do things, and people would come in the chat and were constantly shouting like noob and you're an idiot and don't you even know how to play this game, and it was just kind of like what the hell. like like I just didn't get it, and it was something I'd never really experienced in his channel before, um,
Hmm.
from the normal games that he plays, and I just wonder about the type, like what either the type of people Minecraft attracts, or what it does to people's personalities in a weird way. It makes
Juvenile
them crazy
mentality?
about it. Hmm?
A little juvenile mentality maybe coming in.
Yeah, but like a crazed juvenile mentality. Like,
juveniles on crack. I think that's a bad idea, Cola.
Yeah.
You shouldn't put juveniles on crack.
Well,
I
I
didn't say
think one of the reasons of why Minecraft is more boring to watch than Destiny is because, as you said before, Proper, to watch some guy just plant a tree, it's just nah. And if you watch a guy run around, shoot some stuff, but is constantly in danger and can die now and dies now and then.
Are you saying I die, Moen?
So
That's a
no,
lie.
I'm not saying you die. I say I died
I think
constantly, and you have to
that's
revive me, and it's like
I think that's a bald-faced lie. I don't die.
You
I'll
die.
say
You
I
die
die
a
a
little
lot.
bit. You
No,
both die.
no deaths. Zero deaths. Zero deaths in Destiny.
I'm saying I
I'm
die
the
a lot.
only one. I'm the only one in this conversation who can actually claim 0 deaths in Destiny.
Oh, Moen, I think is vying for the most deaths in Destiny. Hey, what's this do? So
Hey, what's this do?
here's
Boom.
okay. So enough. We can talk for days about Minecraft and its potential, ramifications on gaming as well as what
Yeah.
it is as a game versus streaming. But
Yeah.
my question is Microsoft buying it? Okay, so Minecraft.
Oh my God! It's gonna ruin Minecraft.
The thing is Minecraft just recently came to PS4.
Yeah.
Microsoft has a tendency to kind of manipulate things. I mean, we have a history of that, like Gears of War, Halo, all these games purchased exclusives to make sure that no one else had what they had. It really makes one question what is going to happen. In fact, I was reading that article by Mojang themselves, and they're like, we don't know what the future is going to ultimately hold. We are proud of what we done, but we can't say what they will do. Kind of,
They own it
attitude.
now.
So,
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Microsoft, obviously, the owner, creator, distributor of Xbox. So, does that mean they're going to treat the PS version as a awkward stepchild, or are they gonna be clever, develop it equally, and get just as much money out of PS4 owners as they do out of Xbox owners? Because that would be the smart move.
you'd say if business was business, that would probably be what they would do.
Yeah.
But part of it is trying to, um, push console sales, because the more console sales they have, ultimately the more software they'll move.
Yeah.
You'll never guess what I'm playing right now.
Are
What?
you playing Minecraft, Mons?
Yes. Guess what I'm playing it on?
Your
PS4?
Yes.
Well, you can say goodbye to that game, because
Oh, you heard it here. Cola is predicting that Minecraft will be shut down for PS4
No,
in
I'm
the next
not.
year.
I'm
Next
not.
year, by
I'm not.
2015.
I don't think it's gonna be
Um,
shut down. I'm just gonna think it's
I
gonna.
don't think it will.
Yeah, stuff's gonna happen, and people will be mad.
Stuff, things will happen in a certain time frame. I've predicted it.
Yeah. Tomorrow will happen. It's a thing.
Tomorrow will
I
happen.
think, I don't know. I mean, we can't say for sure. Nobody can say for sure. I mean, one would think, Minecraft is Minecraft. Microsoft.
Minecraft. Now is that how a German goes to Laura, calls after Laura Croft? Minecraft.
Minecraft. That Microsoft being a business first, is always going to go after the profit more than they're going to worry about who's playing their games. So one would think that they will continue to develop and expand it across all the platforms. I mean, they've said they will. I mean, I don't know. They may not.
Oh my gosh.
But there's no reason for them not to. I mean, everyone knows I can't even say the 2 words anymore. Minecraft has a massive following. People are very devoted to it. People spend a lot of money on it. They spend a lot of time on it. So it would be totally stupid to mess with it too much.
Oh my, Cola.
What's that?
Thunder just sent me an article. There is a game coming out,
Oh no. No, no.
Duck
No, not them.
Dynasty, the video
No,
Duck
why? Why would you do it?
Dynasty, the video game. FPS sensation of the year? Probably. I mean, you can go duck hunting, duck hunting.
Well, if anybody remembers was it the Nintendo what was it? You remember proper. What was the first like Nintendo console?
Duck Hunt,
Yeah,
Nintendo,
well,
original
yeah,
Nintendo.
Duck Hunt was on it, but what was the Nintendo?
It's
What was
just
it called?
the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's all it's gonna be. It's like a
Oh gosh.
3D Duck Hunt.
What is becoming of this game industry? Like games like Duck Dynasty are being made. Microsoft is purchasing freaking Minecraft. Minecraft. What the? Is this part of Minecraft? Is this part of Microsoft's like ultimate goal to see more indie? I got trashed the other day. So someone jumped into my channel while I'm playing Destiny, and someone's like, "Are you playing this on the Xbox?" And I said, "No, this is PS4." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm out of here. F this Indie Station stuff. Indie Station 4, like PS4 is the
What?
indie game central apparently, whereas
Wow.
Xbox has been doing indie games far longer than PlayStation. But like,
Yeah.
this Minecraft move? Is this another kind of like look at our street cred? I mean, is this what we're seeing from
Well, look, I
Microsoft
mean,
now?
if you were Microsoft and Mahjong was on the table, why wouldn't you buy them?
That's
If
true.
you're in the gaming industry, why wouldn't you?
Even
Like,
if it's just like even if they treat it like a holding company,
yeah.
it has potential for profit. So
But
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
on the
It's like
front,
if BioWare came up for sale tomorrow, I would not fault anyone who wanted to buy it. You know,
I
whether
would, I would shoot. I think they should just let Bioware die at this point. I love
what?
Bioware. No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. I love Bioware, but
Well, you and I cannot be friends.
no,
Just know
Dragon
that right
Age
now.
2 was a little terrible. Like,
Okay, but Dragon Age 2 is not all of BioWare. Oh my god, we're
that's
gonna
true.
get into a fight right here, live on stream.
Well, that
Fisticuffs.
that would make for entertaining podcast. No, I'm just saying like there's been some good things that BioWare has done. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually a huge fan of BioWare, but in recent years I've been kind of wary of BioWare's offerings. Like we went from Jade Empire and Knights of the Old Republic, two of my favorite games of all time,
Yeah.
to like I know a lot of people love Dragon Age, but I found the interactions really clunky. And then Dragon Age 2 just like simplified it into even worse.
I
I just
think actually, well, I mean, I could talk forever about all the Dragon Age games, but
have played them
I mean,
extensively.
look, you know, I'm not saying that every game that BioWare does is amazing, but I think overall, as a company and the way that they tend to design their games, speaks to me as a player a lot more than other companies.
Okay, so then
Um,
what's your thoughts on Dragon Age Inquisition? Are you getting it?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pre-order it, but
Not gonna,
I
not gonna day one that bad boy.
no, I'm not gonna day one that bad boy. But I will get it, and I am hopeful. I mean, the thing about Dragon Age 2 is, yes, I understand the things that are wrong with it. One, the gameplay mechanics changed drastically. The fighting became monotonous. Um, there were too many repetitive locations.
Oh, you
But
mean
I
like the
still
cookie
really
cutter like,
enjoyed.
oh, I'm visiting the same coastline for like 5 different missions?
Yes, yes, I agree. These things are not
It was
good.
terrible.
I actually really enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the different NPC characters that you could pick up along the way. And I actually really enjoyed playing as a stab you in the back rogue through one of my playthroughs. And so
Well,
it's not the best game that I've ever played, but it's certainly not the worst game I've ever played.
That's
And
true.
it's not the game that would make me stop playing this franchise.
That's true. I only criticize BioWare because I have concerns about going forward because like it really feels like they missed out on the core engagement with Dragon Age 2. Like they took Dragon Age 1, which was pretty solid. I mean, there was definitely gameplay mechanic issues that I felt were pretty flawed and that made Dragon Age 1 very clunky and unwieldy. But it just feels like they just other than the story and the characters themselves, although arguably there's some issues with that too. It just feels like they really missed the core engagement with the game mechanics, and I don't think it's fair to separate a game's story and their mechanics because they're both part of the vehicles that make the experience.
Yeah, well, you only
No,
have the one experience, when playing a game, and then these are elements that make up that experience.
Right.
It's whether or not all those elements together ruin your experience or make it a good experience.
I definitely think the gameplay in Dragon Age 2 hobbled it, from what it could have been.
Oh no, definitely. I think if they had just kept the mechanics from the first game, it would have been a better game. Even though there were problems with the mechanics in the first game, I think it would have still been a much better game than it was because of the mechanics that were in it. But anyway, I think there's a lot of criticism about BioWare because of EA. So like when Dragon Age 2 came out, a lot of people were saying, well, the reason why Dragon Age 2 sucks is because of EA.
Well, I can tell you the DLC issues, the online checking and verification stuff really did not help the experience with the EA. In fact, I would say Mass Effect 2 and 3 suffered because of the whole EA server crap, making it like loading screens in the beginning taking over a minute on average, just because it's trying to like check and recheck all your DLC, and if you're offline, all your crap stops working correctly. It's like you have to do a new offline save or something. I think that's been some really stupid decisions by EA.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. So, like, we're saying the same thing. So, is Microsoft gonna mess with Minecraft and do things that are gonna piss off the core fans of Minecraft? A lot of them tend to be younger, so I don't know if it matters or doesn't matter, if they're gonna notice, but
I think they'll flame for a day on some forum somewhere, and then we'll probably be back to playing it.
Well, and actually, that's the point. When anything happens in gaming, there is always a lot of people with a lot of opinions about it, and up in arms, up in uproar. I'm never gonna uninstalled. I'm never gonna play this game again. I'm never gonna buy any of your games, BioWare. I mean, I remember when Dragon Age 2 came out, that was like all the BioWare network forums was about, was the hate of Dragon Age 2.
I definitely, I was a bit miffed at a couple of things that they did, and, I understand that some of the stuff that EA tried to do was to prevent piracy. I get that, although I pirated Dragon Age 2 successfully before later buying it on Steam because it was cheap. Which I don't even understand why you could buy Dragon Age. I think it was Dragon Age, or it was on Origin, one of the two. Whatever, got it cheap. But the fact of the matter is like they're doing stuff to try and prevent, piracy, but it's still wholly unsuccessful for the most part. At the same time, it just ends up impacting negatively, its users, the people playing the game, in the first place. And then you have to go, okay, so, well, hold on. Son of a noise. I hate that they leave the phone in here sometimes. Pardon the interruption. Um, is Microsoft um is Microsoft going to do something, or are they going, here's another thing. Are they going to provide servers for better multiplayer? You know,
I don't know.
because as it stands, one thing that like a lot of games I will stop playing if it's like there is no ability to even connect directly to another person. Like if multiplayer is like, oh, you have to rent a server. I'm like, okay, peace out, I'm done. But I mean, like, Microsoft has the server space. Do you think maybe, if nothing else for Xbox, maybe host some servers?
Possibly. I
I,
mean,
I mean that could be good. That could be a really good
yeah,
thing. I mean, if we're gonna move away from the doom and gloom of Microsoft buying things, I mean, that could be an interesting move. Just
could do.
saying.
It could make it a whole better experience for people who want to multiplayer on
Yeah.
Minecraft and bring in new audiences who might not have played it, but are attracted by the multiplayer aspect.
So, Cola,
Si, senor.
final thoughts for our episode.
Final thoughts. COD, probably not gonna get it. Watch it, care about it. Um,
Wow,
Neversoft.
you're like I just wrote Call of Duty off.
I'm cold.
Cold,
um,
cold.
Neversoft. I was kind of sorry to see them go because I do enjoy my Guitar Hero games, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Microsoft buying Minecraft. I don't care. Um, obviously I'd be sad if anybody loved it and they ruined it. So I would like them not to ruin it for everyone who loves it. And perhaps, like you suggest, do better things with it. Um, and BioWare, still love you. Waiting for Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm currently playing through all of Dragon Age Origins, and we'll do Dragon Age 2 and all the DLCs for both before it comes out.
Um. Okay, that's fair.
Mhm.
Do you have Moen? Do you have a final thought?
Yes.
What's your final thought, Moen?
Are we ever gonna make a drug podcast?
A drunk podcast.
You know what? I think maybe like should we do it the seventh episode, or we if we're gonna do
We like
that,
to do a milestone episode, yeah.
yeah, if we're gonna do it, it's gotta be on a milestone episode, either like the 7th or the 10th or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the 10th. The 10th is a nice milestone. 10
Yeah.
podcasts.
I think in podcasting, if you can make it to your 10th episode, then you'll be okay.
Probably. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's statistics somewhere to back it up, and a lot of
Yeah.
other statistics to prove you're wrong. But that's me trying to
Probably.
get the story of statistics. Okay, so my final thought is, virtuality still needs to happen. No. I don't know. Call of Duty. I don't foresee it really snagging much in the way of new audience. I don't. I think maybe a 1%, 2% increase in sales, maybe. Um, as far as Minecraft, I don't think we're gonna see a ton of change on the horizon. I don't. I think if anything, Microsoft's gonna act like publisher, investment holding company more than anything. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Microsoft, version of Minecraft gets loving with some dedicated servers for gold. Oh my God! Seriously, who's making all that noise?
Not
Stop
me.
it! Stop it! Okay. Last but not least, um. Yeah. BioWare, I
I'm
still love
gonna have
them.
to hurry you.
Okay, why?
Just kidding.
BioWare, I love them. I hope to see more good stuff from them, but I really think EA needs to just like chill the f out, or it's gonna put a big kibosh on the good that BioWare does. I think
Yeah.
so. So, any shout outs that you guys want to do? You don't have to, but anyone you want to acknowledge or recognize in our collective community or anything like
We
that?
could say hi to Thunder. Hi,
Hi,
Thunder.
Thunder.
Well, hello, Thunder. Which, by the way, his name in Twitch is Thunder Slap You, which it seems a little hostile to me. But his title in my channel is Sir Infetchu. Sir
Yeah.
Infetchu.
And I'm
'Cause
the drug so tipsy.
and yes, Moens is Sir Tipsy, the drunken moderator.
Hi.
And Dire on Destiny.
Yes, Dire of Destiny, exactly. the
Yay.
scientific tester of exploding objects. Hey, what's this do? My shout out. Let's see. Who do I want to shout out? I would actually have to say some of the my biggest shout out goes to Quinnell. I know that seems
Yes.
it seems kind of funny, but I swear, like I've come to rely on him more than just about anyone of, of my mods as far as like not moderating, because hell, he barely moderates, but um being there helping me accomplish some pretty crazy stuff. We've gotten some pretty gnarly stuff done together, so I think Quinn deserves some recognition.
Wasn't Quinn one of the first two moderators?
No, he wasn't one of the first two. The first was Ty Weekender, which I like he's stopped by I think one other time, but then he's like since disappeared. Then the other one who's now known as Engineer on Deck was Adhesive Sloth. And I think Moen, you were actually third.
Yes, I was.
You were third.
Smiley
Woohoo!
face.
What number am I?
You were actually really fairly early on, Cola. I'm trying to think though.
I'm like number 20 or something on the list.
Well, you're somewhere in the middle of the pack because I had to do some editing and do some. I'm trying to think of the mods.
Well,
Flen.
there's Glenn, of course.
Flen was probably like the fifth or sixth one, I think. You were somewhere. I think you were somewhere around 7 or so.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah,
think
I think so as well.
Lovelier was I think 4th or 5th. Because Lovelier like just showed up and helped out, and Lovelier still comes on and does some seriously awesome help with. Because I always forget to tell people to follow me. I'm usually too busy like gaming and answering questions. Be like, hey, follow me, and Lovelier just pops on and be like, hey, if you guys like what you see, follow me. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Besides just Quinn, I'm gonna give a shout out to my mods. I have gotten where I am with much of your help, and I appreciate that. And
Oh.
we might be a little slower than we were during the Destiny beta, but I definitely appreciate all the loyalty and the time that you guys put in. And lastly, for my regulars, you guys are what keeps me with a stable base and allows me to push up beyond where I am right now. If I didn't have any regulars, I literally would be screwed. Thank you guys.
I'm like, I'm on alcohol.
And I won't. Oh,
Just ignore Moens in the corner.
Moen gives a shout out to alcohol. I give a shout out to alcohol too. Fantastic.
I give a shout out to Dragon Age Origins. Woohoo!
Okay, so Thunder brought up a topic right at the end, and I'm going to forecast this that we'll talk about it. Remasters.
Yeah.
Remasters of games. I think it's something I think it's definitely something that we need to talk about. Like Extra Credits recently did a great piece on it, and I think I'll try and get that link to you, Cola.
Okay, that would be cool.
And any other topics, audience or
We'll
otherwise?
find some others. There's always topics. There's always topics going on
There's always
Twitch.
topics. There's always topics.
Like FIFA came out. Does anybody care? Not me.
I played the.
Another sports game! Yay! Oh! You know what? We'll talk about reiteration, the bane of sports games. Remasters,
Well,
reiteration. We need another re. We needed another re.
Remakes.
Ooh. Ouch! Thunder just burned me.
I know. I saw that.
You were so cheesy back then, Prophet, that you could have made like 5 pizzas. Wow. I don't think it was that much more cheesy back then than I am now. I'm still pretty cheesy. I think I am.
I have noticed though during Destiny the education is real has dropped off a bit.
It has because
it's more
there's
shoot
not,
you in the face.
the education would be happening if more people were asking questions. It is.
That's true.
Without people
Indeed.
jumping in and asking questions, it is a lot harder to just pull. There's way too many topics in my brain to just random crap.
And the kind of play that you're doing in Destiny makes it a lot harder because you have to concentrate a lot more on what you're doing.
I'm tackling me and the regular group. We haven't got a large enough group for a rating yet, but we're definitely hitting the Nightfalls. We're hitting the upper tier content other than raids, and it's rough sometimes. Like, we were doing the level 28 heroics today, and trying to figure out new tactics to try and make it more doable. I practically soloed freaking the level 28 heroic on one of my runs. Not saying that Dez wasn't doing anything. It's just a matter of I was totally rocking it.
Okay.
I think I said like 4 times during that run, I was like, I feel like a veritable badass because somehow I'm still alive. Well, our next podcast will be Thursday, same time, same channel. Cola has reformed. Cola has reformed me, made me a new man. I'm now going to try and be consistent with our streams. So Thursday, 11.
It wasn't me that reformed you. It was your guilt.
No, it was my guilt. It was my guilt over flaking out on Cola. Technically, it was like trying to run errands for my wife and then falling asleep and sleeping through when we were going to podcast. But I still felt really bad. I'm an earnest person. I am. I laugh, but I really am. So yes, Thursday we will be back here at 11. Will probably be 11:30 or a few minutes after, because we usually like to take a couple minutes and just kind of bullet point and button some things down. We'll probably try and get closer to 11:30 in the future if Cola is available.
That's PT, by the way.
Pacific Standard Time. PST.
Yeah, PST.
Or PDT. Oh no, because we just went through daylight saving time, so no, it's PST again.
Yeah. And it's 7:30 p.m. GMT.
GMT. Isn't that just Greenwich Mean Time? Are you guys?
Yes.
GMT.
What?
Yeah, but Moen's in an hour. You're an hour later, aren't you?
It's 21:59.
Oh my gosh, you 24 hours. 21.
It's Europe. We use the 24-hour clock, my dear.
Really?
Yeah. That's what you call a military something.
Yeah, we call it military time. But I didn't realize all of Europe went with the whole 24 hour.
Pretty much everyone in Europe uses the 24-hour clock.
I can tell you it's 10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Fantastic. That makes my life easier. Thank you, Mom. I'm not in the
Just
Don't make it easy
divide.
for him, Owen.
Yeah, when someone says something higher than 12, just divide it by 12
No,
and you'll get
I
it.
know. You subtract the 12 and you're good. But um,
Oh, Thunder's 2 hours ahead as well.
well, I do
I'm
have a fairly international audience, which is a good thing, I think, because it gets me playing with interesting people, and more accents on my show is better because then my difficulty that I run into with my streaming audience is that like I'm American, so the American audience has plenty of American streamers already, so my Americanness appeals to more international audiences for some reason. But then I get international people jumping in my stream, which then brings back American audience. It's the shtick, okay? Uh, anyways,
It's all a strategy.
it's a strategy. It's a thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I will be streaming Destiny. I think I probably will try and get one day of Diablo in this week, and I think I'm probably gonna get an hour or two in of Space Engineers.
I
You know, that should be
promise
like
that
5
one
hours.
day when I see you stream, I'm gonna have alcohol ready and stuff, and you'll hear me super drunk.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
That happens all the time, Owens. That's
No,
not
no,
like a
no,
new
no,
thing.
no. It's gonna be a whole new thing. Just you wait.
Oh, Moen.
You won't even be You won't even be able to understand what I'm saying.
I think
I'll
that
be
already
like,
happens.
"Bow."
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and officially stop the actual the
Yeah.
podcast that's
Let's
going
put
on
Moen
YouTube.
to bed.